Greetings, dear respected audience. This is Estamala, your firstly and successful global educator, corporate trainer, SDG, ESG, and technology enthusiast from Malaysia, who not only focus on her life, but also desire to see others excel in their lives by offering quality education for all. Dear precious audience, esteemed academician, our dedicated project team of Elegant Empire Education welcomes you to the Real Talk with Experts Sustainable Development Goal Forum. We are privileged to have Assistant Professor Dr. Anjum Qureshi here with us today. As usual, she is our host and the project leader for this SDG Forum. In this forum, we will explore informative strategies that empowers communities through knowledge. Together, let us engage in insightful discussions that inspires action and foster collaboration for a sustainable future with our honorable, respected panelists. Uh, Let me introduce Dr. Gloria Ifeyiwa from Nigeria. She's a dynamic person, and she is not only that, she's very active on international platform, and she has a big huge team with her. So today, and she's a very experienced person, so I'm very sure we can learn a lot from her, okay, and we can apply it in our daily life, especially in the area of education. So for this, I would like, and she's also founder of a walkthrough AWTE. AWTE actually stands for a walk to true education. Yeah. So for this, I welcome Dr. Gloria. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you for joining us in this vital conversation today.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry to keep you waiting. We are starting a bit late today. It's fine. Late, but we are still here together. Okay, without wasting any more time, I will pass the session to Dr. Anjum, our project leader. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Esther. Yeah, welcome. Thank you, Dr. Esther, and I welcome once again. I welcome our panelist, esteemed panelist, Dr. Gloria from Nigeria. She is the founder of AWTE Intellectual Exchange, and she has been doing a really great work connecting with educators across the globe and having very educative and informative sessions every week. So, and yes, of course, the topic, as we know, our this forum is the SDG forum, in which we concentrate on any of the SDGs. In fact, we have been exploring sustainable development goals and during our sessions. And today, we are going to discuss on a very important topic, that is driving change to education. And we know that education, it plays a very important role in driving the social and individual change. So, education, it fosters critical thinking, awareness, and a sense of social responsibility. It helps individuals to understand complex and societal issues, identify injustices, and develop solutions for change. And there are many more things. Like if we talk about education, there are many more things that we can keep on discussing, like how it helps in individual transformation, how educational system brings reform to promote social and individual change. So, without taking so much of time, I will just try to directly start with our introduction today. Once again, welcome, Dr. Gloria. And to start with our conversation, I would like to ask my first question, like, how can we ensure, because we can see that we get students from different backgrounds. So, how can we ensure that all students, regardless of their background or location, they can have access to quality education?
Okay. Thank you very much for this wonderful question. Now, answering that question, we need to ensure that quality education for all students, regardless of socioeconomic status, ethnicity, gender, ability, or location, demands a radical shift from equality to equity. This means recognizing that not all learners start from the same place and intentionally designing systems that lift the most marginalized. We must move beyond policies that speak only to universal access and focus on deliberate inclusion. This includes subsidizing educational costs, for instance, the cost of uniforms, textbooks, transport for low-income families, then deploying solar-powered digital classrooms and mobile schools to remote, nomadic, or disaster-prone areas. Then training teachers not just in pedagogy, but in culturally responsive practices that reaffirm or affirm each learner identify learner's language and identity. Then next you have to build skills that are safe and inclusive for girls, students with disabilities and displaced population. Public-private partnership must be strengthened to pool resources and technology. At the same time, community involvement from school boards to village elders is essential to root solutions to local realities. Then, quality education isn't about statistics, it's about empowering every learner with dignity, purpose, and opportunity, no matter their environment or passport. Thank you very much. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Dr. Gloria. Continue, please.
Yes, of course. As you said, yes, of course, when we have the students along with us, we have to be inclusive. We have to, sometimes, like we say that we have to be inclusive, we have to embrace diversity, because there are persons, students coming from different backgrounds, they are from different societies, and not only that, their learning skills, their perception levels, they are all different. They are, even their interest is different. We may help sometimes the students to acquire some new skills, but they may also have some kind of, differences, like some may like dancing, some may like studying mathematics, some may like studying English. There are different kind of, interest even the students are having. So we as educators, we have to uh, consider all these things, and according to that we have to conduct our classes. According to that we have to present ourselves in the class, and that is what the concept that nowadays we are talking about, quality education. And yes, now in the same way, one more thing that is being observed nowadays is most of the educators that they complain is the absence of or lack of value and ethics among the students. Earlier, this wasn't so much discussed. At least in India, if we see, even at the engineering level, we have a subject called as universal human values. So, and there are people who are talking about values. People say that the younger generation lacks values, they lack ethics. So, regarding this, I would like to put up my next question. Like, what is the importance of value education in achieving a new sustainable way of life?
Nice question as well. So, in our pursuit for progress, the world has often sacrificed values for velocity. So, yet the crisis we face, emergencies, polarization, great fuel consumption, are not just technical failures, but moral collapses. So, value education brings back the soul of learning. It teaches learners to live not just smartly, but wisely, with reference to life, justice, and future generations. Integrating values like respect, empathy, fairness, humility, and resilience equips students to make ethical decisions in complex, interconnected world. Then it can also help them to recognize and challenge injustice, cooperate, cooperate across differences and cultures, then prioritize community and well-being over competition and accumulation. So when values become the foundation of education, We no longer raise consumers. We nurture stewards of the earth, guardians of peace, and builders of sustainable societies. This is how education becomes a pathway, not just to jobs, but to a just and thriving planet. Yes,
Yeah, of
over to
course.
you, Dr. Ajun. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a wonderful answer because even I believe some days ago, a few days ago, in fact, when I read, even I had written this in one of my articles that I want the students, I don't want that the education system should prepare the students for careers, but I want them that they should be, the education system should shape them as good and responsible citizens. That is more important. Like I talked, like in India, in higher education, a subject called as universal human values has been introduced. So the concept behind putting this into, especially into technical education, is that though the students are growing as engineers, but they need ethics. If an engineer has to make a structure like a bridge, so he should be having some kind of ethics inside him. He should be empathetic, he should think about the people, he should think about the environment. That is more important nowadays due to climate change. And this was the concept that we are having such kind of subjects. And yes, uh, we have to shape the students to be good and responsible students, not just as professional, not just not to prepare them for jobs, but we have to prepare them, and that they will be leading the world, as very good, as very good human beings. That is also very, very important. As I was talking about, they should also, the ethics, the values. It is not just about creating jobs, but it also helps them in dealing with the problems like the climate change that we are getting into. And especially now when we talk about education, as our SDG foresees, it is quality education. And then we are trying to promote an education system that will help in sustainable development. And that is where we term sometimes like education for sustainable development. So my next question will be regarding this, like how can education for sustainable development be integrated into the education systems?
Thank you very much for that question. So, knowing that innovation in teaching must shift from content delivery to experience creation, methods like project-based learning, gamification, flipped classrooms, and digital storytelling allow students to construct knowledge rather than passively consume it. So, inquiry-based learning transforms students into researchers of real-world problems, while peer-to-peer teaching fosters collaboration. Virtual reality can bring distant world into a child's desk, while outdoor classrooms reconnect them to the environment. This method spark curiosity, deepen understanding, and make learning meaningful, not mechanical. So the 21st century classroom must evolve from place to passive reception to a hub of active exploration, creation, and collaboration. Innovative teaching isn't just about using new tools, it's about rethinking the role of the learner. Today's students should not merely memorize, they should question, they should build, they should connect, and they should reflect. Some transformative methods include, just like I've mentioned before, project-based learning. Students tackle real-world issues like designing a community recycling plan and learn interdisciplinary skills along the way. Then we have the flipped classrooms. Learners explore content at home and apply knowledge through dialogue, problem solving, and activities in the class. Then we have the gamification, using mechanics to make learning dynamic and motivational. Then inquiry to learning, ensuring or encouraging curiosity and critical inquiry, where students research answers to their own meaningful questions. Then digital storytelling and multimedia journals, empowering learners to share voices and perspectives through creative media. And lastly, outdoor and experiential learning, reconnecting students with nature and real world systems. These approaches foster deep understanding, autonomy, and creativity, even joy, quality essential for lifelong learning and global leadership. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really needed because we need to empower the students for lifelong learning. And as I said, yes, and also for global leadership, because nowadays when we talk about even for even with the students, like I told you, I am dealing with the students at the higher education when they are into they are doing the graduation, they are doing the masters. So you will tell them that now you should be having a broader goal, not a goal that I am going to some city and I'm working in a company, but you have to prepare yourself for global careers. Because when we talk about sustainability, when we talk about issues like circular economy, yeah, and ESG, so everywhere we need this public-private partnerships, international collaborations, and even the research or innovation that we are talking about. Even at that level, we are talking about collaborations, and the students or the youth of today, they need to realize that whatever they are doing, like you talked about project based learning, yes, that is very very important. That will help them to really understand the realities at the grassroots level. Because sometimes I think that what we are being they are being taught, it is so superficial. The world has changed so fast, but the syllabus is somewhere somewhere it is left behind. So yes, they have to be involved in those concepts like project based learning, flipped classroom, and then you even talked about digital storytelling. So these are very new and innovative techniques that the educators can use in their classes, and the learners can actually continue learning. And they are not just studying the concept, but they are understanding it, and they are able to apply it. That is also very very important, as you said. And yes, like of course, with this kind of with this changes in the education system, and with using this kind of innovative techniques, when we use, there can be many changes that can be brought. But one of the issues that we talk about is like climate change, and then about inequality. So I just want to ask about this, like how can this, like we talked about education for sustainable development. So how can education for sustainable development help in addressing issues like climate change and inequalities?
Thank you very much. Integrating education for sustainable development requires reimagining curricula, teacher preparation, and school culture. It's not about adding another subject, but weaving sustainability across disciplines. From science to literature to civic education, school must model, excuse me, schools must model sustainable practices like recycling programs, energy audits, or school gardens, turning campuses into living labs. National policies should mandate ESD competencies and provide resources for localized implementation. When students learn through sustainability, not just about it, they develop the skills to shape a just and resilient future. Education for sustainable development should not be an add on or optional club. It must become the philosophy or practical or practice that shapes every level of education. To integrate ESD, we need curriculum transformation, embed sustainability teams, climate actions, biodiversity, social justice across subjects. For example, teach water cycle in science alongside discussions on water scarcity in geography and policy solution in civic education. Then I also mentioned teacher preparation. Equip educators with the mindset and tools to teach through the ESD lens, including environmental ethics, participatory pedagogy, and future thinking. Then we have the whole school approach. Make schools living models of sustainability with composting initiatives, green energy usage, and student-led sustainability councils. Then assessment reform. Evaluate not just what students know, but what they can do to make a difference. Critical thinking, system thinking, collaboration, and advocacy. So, national ministries, local governments, and educational stakeholders must create education for sustainable development frameworks aligned with the SDGs and support them with funding, resources, and continuous monitoring. Only then can education system truly equip learners to navigate not and nurture the complex world they inherit. So with this, we can make sure that this is put in place and every school will be sustainable. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was a very powerful message that we have to integrate education for sustainable development into our curriculum, and in some of the countries, actually, the teachers are taking a lot of efforts in bringing awareness on all these SDGs, but even there are countries where this work is still not going on, but we have to do it because the students that are studying in schools or those are studying in colleges and universities, they are the future generation, and they are the ones who have to will have to work compulsorily to achieve this SDGs. Though a lot of work is done, if we just have a look at the data that is being shared by various research organizations, somewhere they are very doubtful that what we say that achieving SDGs by 2030. So still they are doubtful whether it can be achieved or not. Many of them are not sure. And as we just saw, like when I asked about this question, I just asked about two things, like how we are going to work it for climate action and how we are going to for reduce the inequalities. In fact, this is again a question that is getting linked to two more SDGs. Like SDG 13 is climate action, SDG 10 is reducing inequalities. So all these SDGs are interrelated, and we need to integrate it into the educational curriculum so that the students are aware, the teachers are aware, and we all can together work it. And when we say sustainable development goals, it is not like it can be achieved only in India or Nigeria or Malaysia, but it is something which every one of us has to attain it, and that can be done by making some changes in the policies or the regulations for international collaborations that should be encouraged a lot, and of course with the help of education. However, we know education is the most powerful tool that can be used to change the world. So that was a very great message. And thank you, Dr. Gloria, for this meaningful conversation and for all your for sharing your insights. And I hope Dr. Esther has something more to say on it. Over to you, Dr. Esther.
Yeah, I know you will come to me. Yes, of course. I always have my share of question to ask, and let's chat about what I have here. Okay, it was really awesome, Dr. Gloria, and we love to invite you because I like your answers. I've been listening to your answers, and I see that you always give very good answer, very good sharing. Okay, let's discuss about this. How important is skill development for students, and at what age do you think that we should start equipping children with skill development, whatever development?
I think thank you very much for that wonderful question.
Yeah.
Um, Equipping students with skills development should start as early as possible, even in the preschool. Yes,
Mm,
because once a child have access to different skills at that early stage, the child will be able to choose a path. And if you through that period, you'll be able to monitor the child and find out the particular skill this particular child is good at. So introducing skills to children at early stage is very important. For instance, if you introduce skills to a child of, let's say, 15 years, I would think that the child, even some children might even shy away, not even knowing their own ability. But when you introduce it this very early, you see that those children are seeing it as fun and they would like to engage. And through that, you'll be able to find out the best skill for each child. And you find that that children of that age are even good at different skills. They can work with different in different areas. So I think children should be given access to skill development as early as, let's say, once the child starts school, yeah,
Yeah.
preschool age. Yeah,
Awesome. Very good answer. You know
thank
why
you.
I choose to ask you this? Because you are a mom, and same like Dr. Anjum, you both are more experienced, and you see giving birth to child and watching them growing, running with them, you know, doing all the naughty things with them,
Yeah.
and you know how is the child's development. You need not really know much about it through reading or what. Through your experience, I think you have learned a lot about children. And if I may just add to what you have said, um, your answer is definitely correct, because you got to start them as early as preschool. But although I'm not a mom, but my nephew, nieces, they often very close to me. They are all very close to me. Even I can say, when even from the time they start to walk, because I'm always away. So when they are toddlers, I always spend my time. Even when I was student, I used to spend time with them. I watched them growing. I have seen that children, yeah, of course, different children have different ability at the beginning. So we might not know. We have to discover their ability. They don't even know what they know.
Mhm.
They just do whatever they are exposed to. But as we watch them, that's why playtime is very important with children. For mothers, for mothers, you know, uh, we can even start as early as, that is school. Yes, preschool. When you want to start, you start observing your child from home itself. From home itself. This is how I learn uh, about children, you see. So because I had my own preschool and all, I learned even more when I had my that's all my training ground. They taught me, more about children. You see, what I learned through courses and all that, that is one thing. But again, when you watch them growing, you watch them reacting to their friends, their peers' behavior, the teachers' behavior, and all that. We as teachers, we can learn a lot. So as mothers and caregivers and all that, they can watch the child, they can see the child's ability, whether the child can draw or whether the child can do they love to do housework. Yeah, house chores. You give them anything. I first started to observe, when in my preschool before. I first start observing my children. What I do is that I don't give them homework. Most of them do very well. Can say 99.9% of my students, they do very well. After they come in, they change their character. Everything will change, and they will blend into the group. And they'll be so attached to me. Although I'm very strict, they are very attached to me. I see them how they are so capable of doing whatever you are teaching them. You tell them to do, they are ever ready to do. No, I'm very sure you watch that in your child, right? But I, as
Yeah, of
a
course.
Yeah. So although I'm not a mom, I watch these children growing, developing the skill development and everything in school itself. You see,
Mm.
and children do understand. There's a lot of parents, I don't know if you agree with me. Many parents, they don't have time with the child. They always say they are busy. Once they come back home, they are out busy at work. Once they are back, they are busy at home. Of course, we can't blame them, because women are really multitasking too much. It's too much for them, but still they don't grumble, because they know mothers, they do it uh, with pleasure. Although it's so much of pain for them, they still do it, you see. But uh, if you can delegate whatever you can do it to your child, they will learn skill development from home, and you can start interacting with them and uh, bond a closer relationship with your child, so that your child will come back to you whenever they need anything. You see, so it has to start from home. I believe it has to start from home. Like my nephew, I taught him how to use laptop, mouse when he was only 2 plus. Because when I go back for holidays, I spend a lot of time with these young ones, you know. So I teach them. Now he's an accountant, so I used to teach. I watch, you know. So even before going to preschool, he knows how to read, you know, everything. So from there I learned that you can teach the child at very very early age. And in my preschool, I see they do work. You ask them to wipe the table, of course they cannot do it you know, perfectly, but they're so happy to do it. Looking at them
Exactly.
so happy, yeah, I feel so happy, you know. I said, then sometimes when parents complain about them, I said, look, you know, I don't have problem with them. None of my children in school give me problem, and they don't fight each other. Why? But I hear from many of my friends who have their own preschools. They say, oh, it's so difficult, you know, children fight each other, you know, parents complain. But I was so blessed. It was a learning ground, and I learned a lot. So that's why I can say that we can start teaching the children very very early. Yeah, so that is one thing. So Dr. Anjum, you have anything to say about these little ones, how maybe your experience? Because at the end, Dr. Gloria, I would like to have like a chatting session, because I don't want to make it very formal throughout, because we see a lot of programs going on. Everybody will come and talk. You know, we have to be sensitive to our audience. They like, let it make it very informal. Yeah, I always like that. So Dr. Anjum, maybe you can share with us your experience.
Yeah, yes, as you said, sometimes those youngsters, especially because I am with the youth, they do what we tell them. Even
Ah,
many of the time, they are not aware of their own skills. But sometimes when we actually help them out, and many of the times, I just do it. Then that yes, you can do it, and I am there to help you.
hmm,
So when we motivate them, when we encourage them, they do it and they do it very brilliantly. And in fact, I
yeah.
have seen many students growing up like that. When
Hmm.
they come, they are not even able to, they're not confident to stand up and speak, at least when from their own bench, like they can stand up at their place and speak. But with encouragement, no, you can do it. I'm there to
Yeah.
help you. And I have seen the students after a year and all, they're helping others to do the same. Actually, this
Yes.
should be like when we talk circular, this should be done. Like when they come to me in the first year, I encourage them, I motivate them, and then I tell them, no, you can do this. You have to be the host for a event. You can do this. And I have seen now those students are helping their juniors to grow up
Yes.
in the same way, to develop their communication skill. And however, when we are in the higher education institutes, they are so much worried about their placements because
Mm,
till they finish final year, they want that they should be having a job in their hand. So I always tell them your marks, yes, they are important. The companies have their own criteria for some kind of percentage. But besides that, your communication skills, your presentation skills, they are going to matter a lot. Your leadership skills are going to matter a lot for you. And this is how we have been helping the students. The second thing that we have been doing is, as I always say, these are very, these are all youngsters. We can't have some small activities to tell them about SDGs. But what we are doing is, we are having projects in every year, like in second year, third year, final year. So all their projects, we are telling them to align with SDGs. We are telling them which, for which SDG you can be connecting to, connecting your project. So
Mhm.
they are doing it and they are learning a lot with it.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. Yeah, brilliant answer. You see, like you see, the young ones, we always say, that's a saying, the children's do, they don't do what you say, they do what you do. They see what you do, that's what they do. They do better even than you. You see, that's for the young one. For the, I think most of our young adults and the older children, like maybe the primary or high school or even university student, college students. Now, the main issue is that attitude problem. Attitude. They have intelligence, no doubt about it. They are so much better than you and me, right? Yeah, Dr. Gloria, I'm very sure you can conquer with this. But now they have attitude problem, which they carry from home to school to high school and then to university, college, and then to workplace, and give a lot of headache to the employers. I think I always, when we talk about this topic, I always mention this because I am an employer for many many years, and with so many employees and working under me for a simple job, an amount of headaches I went through. Oh my God, I really suffered. You see, so because why? Attitude problem. You see, so how can we, Dr. Gloria and Dr. Anjum, how can we tackle these issues, these challenges uh, when come to attitude problem? Especially the young ones are okay. The very young ones, not really a problem. They are learning, okay? They are learning, so they will change. But how about the young adults and the working adults, working young adults?
Thank you very much. That question is very tricky because young adults at that stage, I think that's the stage of exploration. They're exploring and they feel that they've just arrived.
Yes,
Anything you're trying to tell them, as long as it's not what they want to do, you're just wasting your time. So
yes.
I think what we need to do at this stage is encouragement. We try our best and encourage them.
Mhm.
Teenagers, it comes with this kind of the sense that I have arrived, I can do all things. You don't you're not supposed to tell me what to do. Why should you remind me? I've done this before, or I've heard it, I've read about it. Especially now that we are in the social media era, you try to correct a child, try to correct a staff, a young adult, they will tell you, oh, I know all these things. So what do? We treat them with patience. We have to be patient with them, and we keep talking. There is this thing I usually tell people that you keep talking until you click the number that it will bring into their heads. Okay, maybe some people you have to say it 10 times, some you say it 20 times, some you keep saying
They
until
will say you are nagging. Then these youngsters will say, "Oh, you are boomers. You
yes,
are nagging me. You are
exactly.
very stressful." Even you won't
Yeah,
believe, Dr. Gloria. We never,
yeah,
when we grow up, we never know the word stress. But nowadays, if
Yes,
you see Dr. Anju,
everybody is
even the
stressed for
young
stress.
one, "Mommy, I'm stressed out. Please stop
Yeah,
exactly.
nagging."
and
We
you
have
know,
to be.
yeah,
Go
Dr.
ahead,
Gloria,
please.
please.
Okay. So in this case, some of them will tell you that, oh, I'm emotionally down. You are stressing me out, just like you just said. And some will
Ah.
even tell you, go to the extent of telling you, I've had a child tell me that my mental health is at stake. At that
Oh,
stage, yes.
wow! How big is the child? How
So
big?
it's,
Your
it's,
child?
it's really,
Your child?
yes,
Your child?
yeah,
Please. Now you
yes,
are mentioning this. I think so many children who watch this will learn this vocab from you. This phrase from
yeah,
you. I'm
yeah.
affected. My mental health is affected. Please stop.
Yes, you're affecting my mental health. I need a break. And what
Wow,
will you
that's good.
do if you keep pushing at that moment? You lose that child. So what do we
Yeah,
do? We keep encouraging
patience.
them. We keep
Yeah,
encouraging them with patience. I know it's very annoying. Most times
yeah,
it's very annoying. You want your child to do a particular thing, and the child tells you no, and their no is no, until you
Ah,
prove to them that that no should be yes. You understand? So
ah,
you have to look for ideas in order to convince them that their no should be yes. And if you can't
yeah.
convince them, it will remain no. So what we need is patience, and we keep talking to them, keep encouraging them in always be positive, because sometimes when you come in a negative way, you lose that child, and that child becomes worse than you expect. So what
No
do? We
aggression.
keep
Yeah, no
yes.
aggression.
So
Yes, I agree.
we don't go too tough on them, and at the same time you have to be rigid, you have to be strong, because if you're too casual with them, if you're too mild with them, they will outgrow you. So but in as much as you don't want to hurt them, because they are in that stage that they feel that you can't tell them what to do.
Yeah.
So in order to get their attention, draw them, you have to draw them closer to you. There is this adage in my place that will tell you that when you're spanking a child with the right hand, you use your left hand to draw that child closer to you. So with that, the child will not even know that you are trying to even spank. You're trying to correct in a hard way. You use a casual way, but very strict way to control the child, and with that you will get them. Yeah.
Yeah, you are right. Fantastic. Dr. Gloria, in Asian countries, especially Asian countries like India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, even Thailand and Vietnam, we all believe, Asian country, we always believe in disciplining the child from young. Means telling them this is not, but of course the approach is different now. You cannot apply like those days. Like you say, when you do something wrong outside, when you come back home, okay, like my dad, don't let my dad hear that you misbehave outside. If you do anything wrong outside, you come back home, if your father knows that, you will have cane first. If your teacher canes you, you will have two canes at home. If one cane in school, if your daddy knows, you got double cane. What did you do that makes your teacher angry? What did you do? You know, why? Like my brother once, he did something, he has a pool of friends. These are all very practical experiences, I've seen from childhood. They have group of friends. Yeah, I think I'm very sure your children also will have. Girls are much easier when they're young, but not after 13. But when they're very young, it's easier to handle. But boys are also different. So they have group of friends. So my brother, there's another guy, same name, both of them, same name, different initial, a different dad, right? So different in surname. But the other guy in this gang, they are all good fellas. They meet there because we are all neighbors, right? So after school, they meet. Evening, they meet at downstairs, and and they gather around, they talk and all that. But happened to be that particular guy stole a bicycle. You see, so when the police came to know that these are the boys, they come, they just want to arrest all of them and interrogate them. Are you involved that and this? So and that time, everybody pointed. They thought it's my brother. They pointed at my brother. He will never do anything. He knows my father will skin him alive. If he misbehaves outside. Even at home, they don't misbehave. You see, even they go out, by 9, you have to be inside at home. There's no reason for you to be out of the house after 6 or 5. You want to play, by 6, you are home. This is how our parents discipline us. And I think we can apply that, because we draw a line. You see, yes, we can be like friends, but tell them you are parents. They are obligated to listen to you. This is what lacking in parents nowadays. Once they grow up, they tell you what to do. They won't listen to you. So, disciplining the child, at the same time having a good bonding, we Indian have a saying, You cane your child when you have to cane, and you hug your child when you have to hug. There's a time to hug, there's a time to cane. Of course, we are not going to apply this method that whenever our child do something wrong, we're going to cane them. No, but give them warning. In my school, my preschool, I give 3 conditions to my parents. When the parents come and enroll, my conditions are there. First thing, I will give 3 warning to your child. We are not allowed to cane. Our law here in Malaysia, not allowed to cane the child. But I will tell to the parents, if you agree to my rules, you can send your child here. Otherwise, you can send to any other school. Because I don't want my preschool to be a place where children hurting each other, fighting each other, all this. So, and I said, one of the reason is I'll give 3 warning. If your child doesn't listen, I will give cane. Of course, below the knee, below the knee. Okay, we don't beat them, their body and all that. Just we know how to do. But thank God, none of my students do that. That's why I say I so surprised to see them, growing up. They don't give me problem. Not one child I've taken to clinic, because it's hurt or what. Whereas I hear from my friends, they hurt each other with pencil, sharp objects. They throw books at their peers. Why? Because they cannot discipline. The parents don't allow. Because one of my friend was operating this preschool in a very, we call it is a rich man's area, where you can't even correct the child. The child goes back home and tell the parents, my teacher scolded me or tell me not to do this. That's it. Tomorrow the parents will be in the school. So if the parents were going to have this kind of attitude, they are not only making the lives of the teacher miserable, hard, in future, they're going to cry because the child will never listen to them. So in Asia or bringing up child, I think we should adapt to certain, methods the parents use, although it's a very conventional methods. I think we can still apply. What do you say, Dr. Gloria and Dr. Anjum? I think Dr. Anjum is a good sample because I know her, I know she got wonderful children, grown-up children, and she's just moving around like a single mother, like that. No, don't have problem for children from her husband, because her children are well behaved, right? So what do you say, Dr. Gloria and Dr. Anjum?
Okay,
Should
let me
we?
just chip in something before. Please, let me
Yeah.
just give me a minute. Here in Africa, they say African parents are very strict.
Yes,
When
I
you
know
come
that.
to Africa, we
Uh-huh.
are known for the cane. When a child does something wrong, the
Yeah, yeah.
African cane, very big cane,
Oh,
must
is
visit
it?
you. So,
I
yes.
have friends, Dr. Gloria, I have Nigerian friends here, and I can see that.
Hmm.
That's it. You don't listen, they wag you nicely, Huh. Okay,
Yeah.
please carry on. Sorry for interrupting.
Okay, so no problem at all. So I noticed that, or people talk about that it got to an extent that when you flog a child, the child gets used to the cane. When you spank a child, the child gets used to cane, and the child can absorb any form of, no matter how painful it is, the child can absorb it. So the idea now is to minimize the flogging,
Yes,
the
exactly.
use of cane, because once the child is used to it, after all, my dad will just give me some strokes, my mom will just give me some strokes, and I'm okay.
Yeah, they
So
won't change
it is,
time.
yes.
Exactly.
So they
If you,
they grow with it. They grow with it and get used to it, and they are ready to take any. So that's why we are devising different forms of punishment. Even in schools, you devise another. You just study a child. You study a child, know the level of the child. What kind of punishment does this child hate?
Yes.
Some playful ones won't like to stay indoors or stay in the classroom while others are playing. So that's the punishment for that particular child. Then the
Yeah.
child that likes food so much, I know it's not good to to starve a child or stop the child from eating, but to some extent, instead of the child starting eating at a particular time, maybe you delay the food for like 30 minutes. That is a punishment for that child. So you just
Yeah. Right
monitor,
ones.
know the kind of punishment that will really as in that will really be how will I put it?
Torturing them, very
The one
hard
that will
on
make
them.
the word
Very hard.
painful, yes. The one that
Yeah,
will
I
hurt
know
the
that.
child. So that is
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, it's
And
exactly the
preschools that I've observed, I think they use a naughty corner, and no child will want to be called a naughty child. Yes.
corner. Yes,
So they use
yes,
the naughty
exactly.
corner.
Uh,
Yeah.
so how do you punish? But actually, I don't believe in even using the word punish, but we can use it in inverted commas, a light punishment, like what you say, punishment corner. The corner you can put them there, let them maybe stand there for 5 minutes. You can't mix with your friend. They find it very difficult. You can't play, all your friends are playing, you cannot play because you didn't behave. We have to explain, the teacher or mother have to explain to the child why we are asking them to stand at the naughty corner. Otherwise the child will thinking, why I don't understand why I'm asked to stand there. Again, like what you say, Dr. Gloria, is fantastic. We cannot give heavy punishment which can give them trauma, you see, which is very bad. And after some time, like you said, they are so used to the caning, whacking, they don't care. After that, you say, oh, it's okay. My backside is used to it. I'm used to the caning, it's okay. So I think what from home, we have to, that's why I said there's a time to not to say the word cane means not practically caning them. There's a time for you to discipline them. Tell them, okay, this is the rules we have at home. You obey this. If you don't obey this, like example, like on my thing, in my case, my dad is very strict, but I know he's loving, very strict. You gainsay, you answer back, you get slapped. But after school, like what you say, Dr. Gloria, if my marks are not good, my dad will tell my teacher she's not going home until after 1 hour. Everybody goes home. She has to stay in school and do her homework. You know, you see, we don't complain. I don't come back home and complain to my mom. If I complain to my mom said, yeah, you didn't do it, you're wrong. Why don't you change? Then your dad will not do that to you. So it's all for your good. You see, it's like that. Sometimes, if the father is a little strict, with the child, the mother must know how to pacify the child, talk to the child, you know. Like me, when I'm small, I cannot take it if my father angry with me or cane me. I'll be crying non-stop. I won't eat until my mother comes and explain to me. So I see how my parents bring me up. You see, so much so I don't want to do anything against which can make my mom or my dad angry with me. So this is how we must bring up, because I learned from my parents. It works. It works really. Even after I left my family to go and study, my parents to go away to study, I don't do things as I like. I always remember them. I don't want to do something which can hurt them if they come to know. So this is how we have to bring up the child. So we must have time where we can spend together playfully, like what you say, playfully, spend time playing with them, talking with them about something other than their studies or anything, doing gardening with them, cooking with them. Even boys can bring them to the kitchen. Yeah, all this is good, right, Dr. Gloria? Your child is all girls, is it? Your children are all girls.
Pardon? Okay, no,
Your
no.
children are,
If they're all girls, I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
get you. Okay, no, no, no.
yeah.
I just have one. No. No, I have two boys and one girl.
That is good. So you know the behavior of the young ones, right? Boys or
Yeah.
girls, you can see how they grow
Yeah.
up. But boys difficult to handle. So Dr. Anjum got girls only. So that's why she can see her sisters now. Yeah. So, okay, I think we have taken a lot of your time, Dr. Gloria. Thank you for being so patient. Dr. Anjum, also after a busy day, thank you for spending your time with us. And I think today is very interesting topic. We can go on and on. But is there any, another one more important thing I jot down here, but I forgot to ask. Suggestion. You see, we are always thinking about how to condition the child, how to bring up the child, how to solve problem with the child. But did we ever think about how can we help the teachers? Because we see in, like example, in my country, our teachers have the best training. Teachers go for many type of trainings given by the government education department for them how to teach and all that. So I think teachers should also have attend some workshops where they can learn about work life balance, how to handle difficult children. I think this is more important than learning about the technical thing or how to teach the child alone. What do you think? How we can help the teachers? Because teachers need to be happy to teach the children, yeah, and to bring out good children. How we can help? Is there any suggestions beside the trainings? How can we help teachers to face their challenges in school with the children and for their own self development and mental health? Because teachers also, their mental health is affected. They are burdened, right? At home they have problem. I mean, normal to have problem at home. Everybody has challenges. When you go to school, you have another big huge problem handling
Yeah.
so many children. Yeah, like you have 10 children, you are handling 20. You know why? No, maybe 20 or another or 30 because of the parents. You have two, one child at two, right? So just imagine so how much of problem you will face. So how can we help teachers? Any advice, suggestions? Both of you, Dr. Anjum and Dr. Gloria, before we close.
Okay, let me just chip in something. I hope I'm not taking your time. Okay,
No, no,
so
no, no. You're welcome.
okay,
It's my own
okay,
time.
so I would say it has to do with collaboration. Parents have to collaborate with the teachers. You don't just leave everything for the teachers to handle. And if
Yeah.
there is a kind of this communication, there should be communication between the parents and the teachers. So with that communication, you see that the teachers won't be afraid to tell you whatever is going on in in the life of your child. But when a parent is strict, excuse me, when a parent is strict to the teacher, of course the teacher is going to hide so many things for the parent, and with that you won't know the trivial or the most important things you need to know for about your children, because most times children have two, I would say they have dual character. The character the character their character at school is mostly different from what they exhibit at home. Sometimes some children may play all good at home, then in school they turn to bullies. And in another case, some children might be all good in school, but at home they are something else. They disrespect their parents. They talk anyhow to their parents. They don't do their homework. So we have different types of children. So what do? We have to open that communication between the teacher and the parents. With that, you know what is happening at home. As a teacher, you know what the child did at home, and you can imagine when a child comes to school and you tell the child, "Hello, Michael. Your mom told me you were naughty at home. Was that true? Why should you do that?" So this child will be very conscious that, oh, my mom will tell my teacher, and it's going to be a shame on me that I am very naughty at home. So the child will be very cautious whenever he's behaving. And the same thing goes to school. When the child misbehaves at school, the teacher calls the parent immediately. Okay, this is what your child did, and this is what happened. I'm going to do this. So with this kind of communication link, the children know that okay, my parents my parents communicate with my teacher. But a situation whereby parents turns to bully, when you taught your when a teacher speaks to your child, you get angry and you even come. There is this case in Nigeria where a parent walked into the classroom and began to beat, as in I would say he really mistreated the teacher in front of
Oh,
the students.
yes, very
Really
terrible.
bad, and it was captured on camera and it was everywhere on social media.
Oh,
he
now
he
if they're going
began,
to do it now, big
yeah,
trouble, big trouble, big
yes.
trouble.
So
It's
you
an
can
offense.
imagine. So that kind of child will never respect the teacher, no matter what the teacher does. So sometimes parents contribute to the way their children behave in school. The way you treat your teachers determine if your child will listen to that teacher, if your child will pay attention to the teacher's instruction. So I would say communication and collaboration. Yes, that's the most important thing: communication and collaboration.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Such a brilliant answer. Good sharing, Dr. Gloria. Yeah, before we close, Dr. Anjum, you have anything to say on the same topic? Because how we can help teachers? Do you have anything idea
Yes,
besides what
yes,
Dr.
I
shared?
think, yes, of course, Dr. Gloria has covered a lot many things. But
Yeah.
what I think is somewhere understanding the teachers is very, very important. The teachers, yeah, it is understood that the school administration expects the teachers to come at, like, for example, to come at 8 a.m. and leave at 2 p.m. or whatever may be your timing, and you have to engage these many lectures and all. But understanding that they are human beings in many
Exactly.
places, especially what we see in India. I must tell you that, well, there are many reasons which I can't speak so clearly over here on this online platform, but there are many reasons due to which the very brilliant minds, they are not entering the teaching field. They are not
Oh,
at all. They are not entering.
interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Same here.
there are
Same
many
in
reasons
Malaysia
for
as
that.
well.
Some
Yeah.
people like because they don't have any other options, or because they are very passionate about the teaching, they enter the teaching field. But there are many people who are so, if we have those brilliant minds into this teaching section, we can say they can work wonders, but they don't want to enter.
Yeah.
And the next thing is, well, at every workplace this happens, but especially for teaching, if you want the students to get good outputs, as students, for when we are educators, they are students for us. If you expect that your children should grow up as some good individuals, and you want the teachers to work over them, so we need to understand the teachers also. We need
Yeah.
the school administration should be more empathetic towards them. That is really required nowadays.
That is very important. If
Teachers
you
are
want
human
our
beings.
child,
They're not machines.
yes,
They're
if
not
you want your
machines.
child to do well in school, yes, you are right, Dr. Anjum. When you want your child, because they are human being, they are human being. Not all teachers are bad. Maybe they have one, maybe they have some problems and all that, but not overdoing things. But again, parents, I always share this because we are all academicians, and I've taught children from preschool until PhD level. I still deal with young adults and all that, so I know, that teachers, the parents have to respect the teacher. How much you respect the teachers, your child will also respect the teacher and listen to the teacher. So they might, the teacher might do some mistakes, but that's always nice way to resolve
Yeah.
matters. No, engage in conversation. If you can't go to school, you can call the teacher on Zoom, call and then say, okay, can we meet up today, maybe for 30 minutes? Let's meet on Zoom. I need to talk to you. I think many teachers would accommodate that. So talk to the
Actually,
teachers, talk to the
many
parents, and
schools don't allow this. Many
don't
schools
allow
in
this.
India, especially, no, they
Oh,
don't
why?
allow. We should
Oh,
go to the school and meet teachers. The teachers won't entertain a phone call,
oh,
except
okay. Maybe
for very
I don't know.
important reasons. They won't entertain you on a phone call. If you will have to go to the school and visit them, and that too according to the timings that they tell. If you tell them no,
Yeah, yeah.
I
You
have
have to
this
fix it.
important meeting. No,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are
yeah.
parents, so you have to take out time for your children.
Maybe
They
the
don't entertain, because the teachers don't do it willingly. The teachers are
uh-huh.
not doing it willingly, because this is something which has been told to them at the school administration, that you are not going to attend any calls from the parents.
Yeah, yeah. You know
So
why?
it is very
Because
hard to reach out to teachers.
yeah, because it will affect their rest time. They know even teachers when they go back
Yeah.
home, they still have work. They bring back work home, and they won't have
There's
rest.
a lot of
But
work, lot of teachers.
like maybe some serious cases, not for everybody. If everybody gone, the teacher is gone. Teacher will become like teacher will run away from school. Because just imagine number of students you have. But maybe certain serious cases which you need to speak to the parents. We really cannot go to school if it is allowed, like private institutions and all that. With permission. On certain cases you can still engage, communicate with the parents, and talk to them nicely. If you are angry, no, because some parents, they are just walk into the school office and engage with the fight. I've come across this here happening, so it's also dangerous for teachers. So I think we don't sort to that. It's advisable for parents to talk, or maybe from school, with your principal, or with the permission, or with the principal along with you, or maybe students affairs teachers be with you together with the class teacher and the parent. We can talk on the Zoom while during the school hours. If you have some serious problem, we can also do that, you see. So that's all depends, case to case, like what you say. If it's allowed to talk, parents are allowed to talk to teachers after schooling hours, that is a bad thing for everybody. But some serious cases, I think, if you can't find time to go to school, then especially those who are working, they cannot take time off. Nowadays life is very tough, not like no more like before. You can't say, oh, I have to go to school to see my child's teacher. The employer will ask you why. You take annual leave. All this, a lot of problems. So anyway, case by case. And thank you so much for this wonderful sharing. Hope you have enjoyed this session today. Thank you, dear audience, for being with us today. Please share with us if you have any suggestions in our comment box when you watch this forum, or any other program of us, and we will be very delighted to give you a good answer. We'll do our best to give you answers because we have many experts with us. Thank you so much, and have a nice day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thank you, Dr. Gloria, for your precious time. And I know you had been very busy the whole day, and yet you patiently waited and shared your good, great thoughts and knowledge with us, your experiences as well. Thank you, Dr. Anju, for hosting this wonderful session. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank
Till we
you
meet
very much.
again. Yeah.